Okay, folks, I'm going to open up and take a look at one of these titanium knives I bought. This is the Olitans, model name made in China. Okay, opening it up with the knife that Credence Haney won. He's giving this knife to his daughter because she is currently studying to be a first responder, to be, I believe, a medic. This knife is sharp. I don't know her name, but if his name's Credence, her name could be Clearwater. And his wife's name might be Revival. You never know. That would be one hell of a family name right there. You know, or his wife's name is Clearwater. So, Credence Haney, her name was probably Dorothy Clearwater, or is Dorothy Clearwater. And then they had a daughter, and they said, we're calling her Revival. Credence Clearwater Revival. Look that music group up. You're going to find yourself some good tunes. Okay, so I'm trying to open this box without it looking like I had the box open. I already took the plastic wrap off just now. So that's going to be an indicator. But my father-in-law, Larry, first off, doesn't watch my YouTube channel. He doesn't watch YouTube, period, I don't think. He's old school. Second off, if he did, plus he does know me, there's a good chance I'm still going to open it and look at it. Because I just can't not look at things or touch things. It's kind of why I have this channel. Because I like to look and touch things. That doesn't go well in a strip club. Yeah, so if you're that kind of dude, don't go to strip clubs. It's okay to look at things in there, I guess. I don't even go there. I'm not going there, period. Okay, so this is the Olitans titanium flipper. Now, she's not very big. I didn't expect it to be that big. And because, you know, it's got good material and it was really affordable. It cost this much. Right over there. Okay, so now look at this little thing. Look at this little puppy. And it looks like almost like that corgi, that Vosti corgi. It's a frame lock, pocket clip. Looks like it's tip up pocket clip. That's good. Now the pocket clip isn't reversible. It has a lanyard hole. It's got the flipper, and this is titanium, guys. This is titanium. Very light. I was like, man, this box is really light. And then I was like, oh, it's a small knife. But really, okay, so full flat grind. I believe this is D2 steel with a frame lock. And I call these drop points. That is reminiscent of a dagger spear because it's a central point. And also, if it was like on a slip joint case knife, maybe they call it a pen blade. I'm going to call that a drop point for these purposes. Full flat grind. Really, look at that. Almost looks like a Scandi grind, but it's not. It's got an edge, and it's got a little sharpening tool. My dog's sneezing back here. What you sneezing about? All right, I'm getting ready to... She wants to... Now, she's going to want to drop. It's centered up pretty good. Now, the only thing is, on this flip open, I'd like it to be a little more crisp. I'd like it to go... But it goes... Yeah. Now, she's going to drop. And I don't even have oil on this yet. A little oil on it. Alright, so I got my KPL. And I use the KPL original. KPL oil. It's got a nice little steel tube kind of applicator. Now this has bearings, guys. So when I oil this thing and maybe tweak on that pivot a little bit, she's going to want to fly. She is going to want to fly. So I'm getting her oiled. Ooh, watch that blade. I like this little knife. This is definitely going to go to my father-in-law. I was like, because my father-in-law is not a super big guy, but he's not a small guy. You know, he's like 5'10", and he's skinny, and he's just an older guy. He's, you know, obviously in his mid-60s, and he's not a like an outdoorsman kind of guy. He lives at Myrtle Beach, and he's not like the guy who's going to even wants to EDC. Probably doesn't even want to carry a pocket knife, but he's going to carry this. I guarantee you, he is going to carry it. Now, I can't get it to where it's super droppy yet, so I may have to mess with. I'm gonna let the puppies out. They were just out, and my gate over here was open. Don't tell my wife. They could have ran up on the road. They could have ran all around, and they didn't. They just went all the way around back. I whistled for them because I didn't see them in the field, and I was like, oh man, where are they at? And they were on the other side of the fence over there, and I'm like, how'd you get over there? Guys, I like this knife a lot. And it's a very light blade. So getting that lightness, the fact that this blade is so light, getting it to want it to drop on its own is a big ask, if you ask me. Now, I know if this was like maybe made by maybe more high-end, you know, finish type knife manufacturer, they could probably do that easy. Look, you see that sucker? You break this thing in, and you are. This is the most perfect pocket knife I could give to my father-in-law. It is subtle. There's nothing crazy about it. No colors. It's titanium. He can appreciate titanium. It's got a flipper. It's got a very sharp blade. I want to cut paper with it. Now that's D2 out of the box. Now it's not wanting to do squiggly cuts, but it cuts paper nice. Extremely impressed with this knife. Look at this price point. It's just because it's so small. Oh, look at that drop now, guys. We got like a little knife doing big knife drop. But the detent, it needs detent. So right here, a good detent. The detent's very, very, you know, so when they design knives, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong out there, knife people, but in my head, the detent obviously on the inside of this scale right here is a little ball that's got a little bit of compression value. I think it's a little springy maybe, or if not, it's just fixed, but whatever. Then you'll have like a little track, not really a track, but just where the ball goes on this blade, right? And then that blade should have a geometry that has kind of a ramp that's leading that ball to a hole on the blade, which should make it want to go pull it in a little bit more. So like right about here would be a nice area where that ball just wants to suck in. Sometimes you can work on that and fix that. Sometimes you can't. I don't think you can on this because I think the ball is fixed static on the scale and the hole is going to obviously be static on the blade. Sometimes you can do that with the frame lock. So the ball might be on this frame lock right here. And sometimes you can, actually the lock needs to be in maybe a little bit, but you can bend that frame lock or that liner lock, and that's going to give a little more tension, that ball, a little more pressure against the ramp on the blade geometry, making it want to shut or detent better. Very, very bad detent. So that's going to be a design flaw right there. But that is not a deal breaker, folks, unless you are buying an expensive knife, a very expensive knife, or a knife that you use and carry every day, you're going to want or desire that right detent, because that's part of the knife performance. It really is. You know, on this drop right about there, it'd be nice for that to start sucking that blade in, and then you would have just a effortless drop, and it would go right in. See, now right here, I'm got to give it a shake, and if it doesn't go all the way in, ooh, man, good flip open. I hardly gave it anything. Just, guys, little break in on this. What a cool, drop everything. What a cool little knife. I love the frame lock. You know, the hardware on the clip isn't flat. See how it sticks out right there? That's not a deal breaker for me either. Very transparent through the frames. That's my biggest concern. Centered up. My biggest concern is going to be the detent on this knife. So if you buy this knife, most likely, if all the other ones are the same, it's going to be a detent issue. It comes with a little ball chain for the lanyard, which I wouldn't use because it's almost a keychain knife, but not really. And it came with a cloth that has Olitan. Now it does do billboarding on the blade, and it also has blade material on the other side. There it is. So this is going to be a good little Christmas present for my father-in-law. Titanium, D2 steel, affordability, frame lock, sharp blade, decent action. You know, not the best action. You know, like I said, if this was a Chris Reeves, ooh, it just needed that little tweak, I think. Little blade wobble, so I'm gonna tighten that back up. I'd rather there not be blade wobble, and you have to do that. Now that's too much. There it is.